So I am home. I've actually been home since like 8:30. It's 9:30 now. I had a pretty good day at work. Busy again. And my sessions went very well. I hear my neighbors a little bit shuffling around. I'm just like thinking about how I felt today on my way to work. It was incredible. And I'm glad that I was able to share some of that with you. But for whatever reason, I came back on tonight because I feel like there's something else that needs to come out. I'm not sure exactly what it is yet. So this video might be a little bit long too. I'm gonna work on my project a little bit more tomorrow and do my laundry tomorrow because I have nothing to do. So I'm gonna get creative with my project and get some cleaning done. Maybe I'll have time to paint. I probably will. And I don't think it's gonna rain tomorrow, so I know what I want to draw. It's in my mind. I can see it. So that's what I'm gonna do tomorrow. But I was just thinking, like, how much time I've been given to create and to relax and to make these videos and share with you my experience. And I feel so good about that. It's like I don't have to rush at all anymore. Like I used to run and like do. And now, even when I don't have a lot of time because I slept too late, or yeah, most of the time it's because I slept in. But even when I do that, I still have enough time for everything that I need to do. And it's the opposite of like that time's dragging out, you know what I mean? Like sometimes you feel like time is dragging, but it's not like that. It's more like time is being stretched for me to get for me to get done what I need to get done. Does that make sense? I don't know. It's pretty cool. It's really pretty cool to experience that. And yeah, I don't know. Some of you might know what I'm talking about. But even if you don't, if you do this work and you get to this place of joy and peace and calm and stability and self-love, then you probably will experience that and you'll know what I'm talking about. It's really cool. Just trust me, it's really cool. So I don't know if you can read this because right now I can see it, but it's backwards. So if I'm seeing it backwards, I don't know if you're seeing it backwards or not. But it says, life begins at the end of your comfort zone, which is pretty true. Because all those times where I was a little afraid of change, or the first time, when I moved out of my parents' house, I was excited and I wasn't really afraid. But when I realized that it wasn't going to work out with my fiance, and I didn't really, we weren't meant to be together, it was scary. That was really scary. And I fought it for, I don't know, probably for a few months. Before I prayed, I got down on my knees and I was crying and crying, and I put my head on the floor even. I was like, what do you want me to do? And I heard I didn't really hear a voice. It was like a thought, but very clear and very soft, and almost like it didn't quite come from me though, because it just said leave. And I was like, oh, are you I said, are you sure? I did. I said, are you sure? And he said, yes. So, I was very scared, and it was really not optimal timing either. It was like at Christmas time. So I just, I found the courage while we were in the car to talk to him about it. And he just agreed with me. And it was pretty cordial, actually. And so I felt relieved. And then after I moved out of the apartment, I went back to my parents' house. I was like 20, I don't know, 20 something, like early 20s. And at that point, I wanted to take it back. I really did. I was like, what did I do? And I wanted to take it back because I didn't really want to let that go. But I knew that, maybe part of me was just like, afraid to move in a different direction or whatever. But, so I kind of I was kind of, aggressive and maybe a little bit crazy, like almost psycho, making excuses like I want to see the dog, and it's not fair, and just really like pity party kind of. But once I decided to just keep praying and just find something new, I prayed, and I went to, okay, so I didn't know what I was gonna do. And I went to the recruiter, out of just something just drew me. I was, I don't know, I was working, and then I went to get my oil change or something, and I was just pulled to the armed forces recruiter. And I went straight to the Navy one because my dad was in the Navy. So that's where I went to that one first. And I did talk to some of the other ones, but I decided to stick with the Navy. And I took the test, and like I was all ready to sign up, and then I got scared again. And I called the recruiter, and I said, you know what? I changed my mind. I don't want to do this. And then after I hung up, I prayed some more. And I was like, oh my God, Amy, what do you want me to do? And the recruiter called me back. He's like, I'm not letting you get away that easy. So I was like, all right, I guess that's what you want. So I went to the Navy, and it was really fun for a little while. Like, I loved boot camp for sure. And, you know, after whatever happened, it was really bad, actually. But like the actual event, like it was all bad, but it was worse what happened after. I don't want to get into it right now because like I'll probably get emotional, and I don't want to go into that space because I deal with that. I deal with that in therapy and on my own. But just so you know, like I am sharing with you, just not the details. So something happened, and then I had to leave again. Like I had to start over again. And I was gonna try. Like I even got a job in Virginia. I had an apartment with some other shipmates that, well, I don't know why I did quotes, but a couple of other people from my ship. And we had a really cool apartment. And I was like, I don't really want to leave. But at the time, I was in another relationship that really wasn't it either. And we talked. And I was like, all right, you're right. And I prayed, and I was like, what am I going to do? So I'm working for, I don't know, maybe 2 months in Virginia at a grocery store. And I was praying and praying and praying. And then I'm just sort of sharing the flow of like certain like major events that led to the next. So I'm praying and praying and praying. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And I found out that my oldest sister had to move to Chicago. And so I was like, She had a 2-bedroom. And so it was like perfect. Like I had a place to stay and try and figure things out a little bit. So I drove from Virginia to Chicago. And I don't remember how long I stayed. It wasn't really that long. It was maybe a month, and I was just like, I wasn't feeling Chicago. I'm like, I don't really want to be here. So, I talked to my parents, and So my mom flew out so that we can drive from Chicago back to LA. And we had a good time. That was a nice trip. We stopped in Vegas and I don't know. I remember like that was an interesting trip. But it was fun. And I got to spend some time with my mom. And then I got home and I was like, now what? Now what? So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go. I need to find a job, first of all. And I was asking around and I heard Starbucks was really a good place to work. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go for it. So I get hired and it is really a cool job. And I got benefits and everything. And like it was really easy to learn everything. And I even got promoted in the 2 years that I was there. And then I was like, but this can't be it. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, I can't. I was like, oh, but also, something else, like when I was working at Starbucks at 20 something, I remember my first round of college. No. Well, I guess it was my first round. It was just my second school. And I met this guy who was working at that coffee kiosk at the school. And so he took me out on a date. It was really weird though, because after he picked me up, he stopped and had me sitting in the car so he could buy flowers while I was sitting in the car. It was really weird. I was like, what the heck is happening here? Like, okay. But the reason I brought that up is because, like, I was 20 and he was, I don't know, 26 maybe. And no, I was probably 18 or 19 because, yeah, 19. I was about 19 and he was 25, 26. And I had like, it was a weird date, right? But then I was thinking, dude, he's 26 and working at a coffee shop. So like that like it cut it off right there for me and that guy. Like I didn't go on a second date with him. And I don't know if that was the only reason. I doubt that was the only reason. It was like a weird ass date. So, but like that thought of, oh my gosh, he's like that age and he's working at a coffee shop. And that judgment that I had, like I was only 20. I was 25 actually, I think, when I got out of the Navy. So I'm working at a coffee shop now at 25. And I was just like, no, this can't be it. So I went to school. I went back to school to get my associates. And that was interesting. So I got my associates, and then I'm still like, I didn't have a specialty. I didn't have a major because I really, really didn't know what I wanted to do. So, my other sister was like, she was trading commodities, and it's a phone business mostly. So she's like, I think you'd be really good at it. And so I tried it. I studied and studied and I took the test. I think it took me 2 times to pass it, but whatever, it's fine. And then I started doing that, but it wasn't quite right for sure. Like I wasn't really feeling that either. So I started another thing on the phone and like kind of doing the commodities at the same time so I can keep my license or whatever, because it was a pain in the butt to get it. So I'm selling this advertising space for a website, and I'm trying to market the website to get the information out, and it just like it just wasn't working. And I think it had something to do with the person in charge. So, and that person in charge was really aggressive. Like, and he was in charge of both places that I was working. So I was working for this really, really aggressive person who was like really kind and sweet in one aspect, but like really mean and manipulative and controlling. So I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. And my sister had actually found another job at a different brokerage. And so I was like, dude, I can't do this anymore. And so she talked to her new people about working with them instead. And like I went to work with them, and it was starting to get good, and like I was sort of getting in the hang of it, and um you know there was some friction with me and my sister working together, but yeah, I kind of just took it and was like, okay, let me just try harder. And then so it was working, and then 2008 happened. And it stopped working, and it stopped working there. But there was something else that came in that we were working on, and that was doing really well for a little while too. So like she opened her own business, and we were working together at her business. But I mean, like I said, I wasn't really into it, and I was trying, but like not like my heart wasn't in it, and I was trying to prove something, and I was trying to be something I wasn't. And she was trying to help me see that like I need to do something else. But at the same time, I kind of felt guilty, because I had like told her, I want to do this. I'm gonna do this. And then like the stuff we were doing, it sort of fizzled out a little bit. And so I studied to get a second license. I got that license so I could like offer more things to people. But like that really, like, I kind of understood investing, but it was like it wasn't me that was going to be managing it. It was other people. So I was sort of on board like with these people that we were raising money for or whatever. But it was just like it was awful. It was like and I'm sure it was awful for my sister too. It's just like 24/7 working together, living together. And it wasn't my thing. And then like something happened with her. She got attacked by a dog, and like I don't know, it was crazy. And something had to change. So keep going. I'm praying, I'm reading the Bible, and I'm trying to understand it. And she told me something like, you miss reading the Bible. And she said like, it's stories to learn from, I don't know. I don't know what she said, but it was like kind of made me mad a little bit. But I really didn't understand what I was reading at the time either. I was just trying to. I wanted something else. I knew that it was something more. There was something more that I didn't know yet. And so I was looking for it. And then, like, I was so down, like, so really depressed and, like, miserable. And then I met somebody else. And I had actually, like, not, since I left the no. 2005, I think, was when I came home and I met someone, spent a few months, like, with that person. And, like, I was really excited about it. But then he just disappeared. And I was like, what? Like, that doesn't make sense. So that was a really weird thing. And then after that one, nothing for 5 years. I was just done. I was like, no more. But my soul was dying. Like, I was like, my light was just being put out. I had no motivation. I mean, I went out sometimes, and had a little bit of a good time sometimes, but for the most part, it's just like I wasn't aligned with myself, and I wasn't like doing what I was supposed to do on this earth. Like, that wasn't my job. That wasn't what I was supposed to do. So, when I met this guy, but it was a bad situation also. And then it blew up in our face, both of our faces, and it hurt so bad. And then I went back to God and I started praying and praying and praying and started walking. And then I just changed everything. I started going to school for massage and working at the school, and like just I was working from 9:30 in the morning till 6:15 at the school, doing paperwork and computer work and phone calls and cleaning and all that. And I was going to school from 6:30 to 10. So, like, for 7-8 months, that's what I was doing. And then I was, like, on my spare time, my weekends, I was walking and walking and walking and walking and just walking and walking, and then and praying. And then all of a sudden, I have this new license and I get a job right away, right out of the gate. And then I got fired. And I'm working with these other people as well, like with workshops and energy work, and things are getting better for me. And so I'm practicing cooking. I move out of my sister's house into an apartment for myself. So I have my own space now, and then I found a way to get support from the VA. And so, like, things are just changing and shifting, and like my life is just getting better. And then I get fired, and then I found another job. And this other job was good, and I was learning a lot, and I had, like, I was making some money. But at that job, I met this other person who told me about my current job, and I sort of like hesitated, but he didn't give up. He said you're worth it, and you're really good, and you're worth it. You should do it. So I just went. There was this place by my apartment. There's at the college for veterans it's a workforce thing. And so I went there and I did my resume. I turned it into this job that I'm at now. Did my I think I had 4 interviews. 3 official ones, but and then I got the job and I've been there ever since. And then this place that I was doing this other stuff at, there was a situation and there was a lot of pressure. I don't think it was only from me. I just talked about that earlier today, but like, there's so much pressure on me. A lot of it was from me to be better and to get it. I just needed to get it. Like, so it turned into something that wasn't healthy for me. So I prayed and prayed and prayed, and that's when the hand of God took me out. And then I had a place to stay, and then I found this really awesome place now that I love. And now I'm waiting. Still praying. I'm doing the videos. I'm doing my paintings. I'm working on my project. I'm going to work and meeting people. And so, like, it's just whatever's next is, I'm excited to see what's coming next. So, but just like that whole like process, it was just like one experience turned into another experience, and it just kind of flowed. Like, even though it was difficult and painful, it just was going and going. And then when I finally was able to slow down, when I got here and just be by myself and like really look and reflect, do some inner reflection, really like think about how I think and how I act and like how I feel, and like just really looking at who I am. A lot of that stuff that I was studying from a long time ago, the personal development and the workshops and the self-help books and the seminars, like, it just all started to click. And it's like this information, this knowing, it's not all from one place, and it's not you can't get it in one place, and it's like your whole life is a part of it. But then, you have to participate. And I think praying is a form of participating in helping to create your life. So, yeah, that took a long time to explain, and it was even like a really, like, I cut it short. Good. This is a lot of years. That was from 2002 to today. So 19, almost 20 years. So yeah, 35 minutes for almost 20 years. I think I did a good job at cutting it, short. But yeah, just looking back and seeing where I was and where I've been, and all the things that happened in between and everything that I've been learning from it lately, just seeing how, like, oh, that song. You take what the enemy meant for evil and you turn it for good. You turn it for good. I'm gonna see a victory. Yeah, that like, everything you've experienced, everything that you've been through, it can be turned into a step, like a slingshot into like this amazing space. And yeah, it can just like, all, if you look at all of it, you go back and you go back and you look at it and you look at it and you see where you are, and then you let go, and then all of a sudden you're in this amazing place of presence and possibility, and you feel good and you feel at peace, and you feel like there is no limits, because like there really isn't. And even when you do have limitations, because there's always challenges, but even when you do have limitations, when you look back at like where you were, you can see that those limitations didn't stop you. You figured it out. God helped you make it through that. And He'll help you make it through anything. So, yeah. Wow. Yeah, this is a really good reminder of how far I've come. And I really, really am glad that I was able to share it with you tonight. And I think that is why I came on here tonight. So, yeah, I am going to go because we're almost at 40 minutes. And I don't want to, I mean, if you want to watch, you can. So anyway, thank you again for listening, and I appreciate you all, and I love you all. And remember, you've made it this far. Why not just go the distance? You know what I mean?